the stillness beneath the noise. Christmas arrives wrapped in sound. Music plays everywhere, conversations overlap. Streets glow with lights and expectations hang heavy in the air. For most people, the season is about movement, shopping, planning, traveling, performing happiness. But for a Stoic, Christmas represents something very different. It is not primarily a celebration outward, but an invitation inward. The Stoics were deeply attentive to moments of transition. They believed that pauses in the rhythm of life were not accidental. They were opportunities. Christmas, sitting at the threshold of a year's end, offers exactly that. A natural pause. A quiet space between what has been and what is coming. While the world rushes to decorate the surface of life, the Stoic turns inward to examine its structure. This review is not fueled by guilt, nostalgia, or regret. It is guided by reason. Stoics review their lives at Christmas not to judge themselves harshly, but to see clearly. Clarity to a Stoic is the foundation of freedom. Life is a practice, not a performance. Stoicism does not see life as a performance meant to impress others. It sees life as a practice, one that requires constant refinement. Marcus Aurelius did not write his meditations for public applause. He wrote them for himself, often at night, often in solitude, reviewing his thoughts, reactions, and conduct. Christmas, with its contrast between inner feeling and outer display, naturally invites this kind of reflection. The Stoic asks, have I lived according to my values or according to expectations? Have I acted with virtue or merely with convenience? Have I responded to life or reacted to it? Reviewing life at Christmas is not about tallying achievements. Stoicism measures success differently. It asks whether wisdom increased, whether self-control strengthened, whether courage was exercised, whether justice guided decisions. These are not things that can be bought, displayed, or photographed. The end of the year is a moral mirror. Seneca advised reviewing one's day every evening. At the end of a year, the Stoic expands this practice. Christmas stands close to the year's conclusion, making it an ideal moment to hold up a moral mirror. This mirror is not cruel. It does not magnify failure. It simply reflects truth. The Stoic looks back and asks, where did I lose my temper? Where did I compromise my integrity? Where did I allow fear to guide me? Where did I practice patience, restraint, or compassion? Christmas softens this process. Its quieter mornings and reflective atmosphere make honesty easier. The Stoic does not rush through this review. There is no urgency, because growth is not a race, remembering mortality without fear. Stoicism teaches memento mori, remember that you will die. Christmas, though filled with warmth and nostalgia, subtly reminds us of time's passage. Another year nearly gone, another chapter closed. For Stoics, this is not depressing. It is grounding. Reviewing life at Christmas is a way of honoring time rather than wasting it. The Stoic reflects on how finite attention was spent, on what mattered, on what distracted, on what should not be repeated. This awareness of mortality sharpens intention. When you remember that time is limited, trivial concerns lose their grip, social comparisons fade. The Stoic asks not, did I have enough? But did I live well? Detachment from external measures of success. Christmas amplifies external measures of success. Who achieved more? Who earned more? Who bought more? Who appears happier? Stoics review their life at this time precisely to detach from these illusions. External success is unstable. It can vanish overnight. Stoicism teaches that the only reliable measure of a life is the state of one's character. Reviewing life at Christmas allows the Stoic to recalibrate, to remember that reputation, wealth, and approval are outside one's control. This review restores independence. It reminds the Stoic that peace does not come from how others perceive the year, but from how one lived it internally. The quiet accounting of emotions. Stoics pay close attention to emotions, not to suppress them but to understand them. Christmas often intensifies emotions, joy, loneliness, regret, gratitude, grief. Reviewing life at this time allows the Stoic to observe emotional patterns without being consumed by them. Which emotions dominated the year? Anger, envy, fear, or calm, acceptance, gratitude? The Stoic understands that emotions reveal beliefs. Reviewing life means examining which beliefs were helpful and which were destructive. Christmas provides the emotional contrast that makes these patterns visible, reaffirming control over the inner world. One of Stoicism's core teachings is the distinction between what we self-control and what we do not. Over the year, this distinction often blurs. We worry about outcomes, opinions, and events beyond our power. Christmas reflection is a chance to restore this boundary. The Stoic reviews moments where energy was wasted trying to control the uncontrollable, relationships that caused unnecessary suffering, outcomes that demanded emotional investment but offered no return. Unlike many modern self-improvement approaches, Stoicism does not rely on shame. Reviewing life is not an act of self-punishment. It is an act of self-respect. At Christmas, when emotions are softer and defenses lower, the Stoic revisits mistakes with honesty, not to relive them but to extract wisdom. What assumption was wrong? What reaction was excessive? What attachment caused suffering? This process transforms failure into training. Christmas becomes not a reminder of what went wrong, but a teacher showing how to improve. Aligning with nature's cycles. Stoicism emphasizes living in accordance with nature. Winter represents rest, slowing, reflection. Reviewing life at Christmas aligns the Stoic with this natural rhythm. Instead of forcing constant productivity, the Stoic allows a pause. Reflection is not laziness. It is maintenance. Just as fields lie fallow to restore fertility, the mind must rest to regain clarity. This seasonal alignment strengthens resilience for the coming year, clarifying purpose for the year ahead. Stoics do not set goals based on desire alone. They set intentions based on virtue. Reviewing life at Christmas naturally leads to asking, what kind of person should I become next year? Where must I exercise more discipline? Where must I release unnecessary struggle? This clarity emerges not from ambition but from self-knowledge. Christmas reflection clears mental clutter, allowing purpose to emerge naturally. A defense against regret. Regret thrives in avoidance. When life is never reviewed, mistakes accumulate unnoticed until they become heavy. Stoics review their life at Christmas to prevent this buildup. By regularly examining choices, they ensure that regret remains small, manageable, and instructive. Christmas reflection acts as a release valve, preventing emotional pressure from becoming bitterness, protecting inner peace. During a chaotic season, Christmas can be emotionally overwhelming. Expectations collide with reality. Reviewing life grounds the Stoic. It creates an anchor of calm. While others seek escape through consumption or distraction, the Stoic seeks stability through understanding. Reflection protects inner peace by reminding the Stoic that meaning is not created by the season, it is carried into it. The moral inventory of relationships. Stoics value relationships, but they are realistic about them. Reviewing life at Christmas includes examining how one showed up for others. Did I speak honestly? Did I act justly? Did I listen patiently? Did I allow resentment to linger? This is not about judging others. It is about responsibility. The Stoic asks what was within their control in each relationship and lets go of the rest, preparing the mind for loss and change. Christmas often highlights absence, people who are no longer here, relationships that changed, phases that ended. Stoics review life at this time to practice acceptance. Loss is not treated as an interruption, but as part of existence. Reflecting on it strengthens emotional endurance. The Stoic learns to hold memory without being consumed by sorrow, cultivating humility through reflection. Reviewing life reveals how often certainty was misplaced, how often pride interfered, how often assumptions proved false. This naturally cultivates humility. Stoics see humility not as weakness but as accuracy. Christmas reflection humbles the ego and restores proportion. It reminds the Stoic that growth begins where arrogance ends, releasing the year with dignity. Stoics do not cling to the past. Reviewing life at Christmas is a way of closing the year properly. Lessons are extracted, gratitude is expressed, errors are acknowledged, then the year is released. This dignified closure prevents emotional residue from bleeding into the future. The Stoic enters the new year lighter, clearer, and steadier. The ultimate reason. Stoics reflect at Christmas. Stoics review their life at Christmas for one essential reason: to live more deliberately. Reflection transforms time from something that happens to us into something we participate in consciously. Christmas, with its stillness beneath the noise, offers a rare opening. The Stoic steps through it, not to escape the world, but to meet it with renewed clarity. In this way, Christmas becomes more than a holiday. It becomes a checkpoint of character, a moment where life is not measured by what was gained but by who one became. And for the Stoic, that is the only measure that ever mattered.